Oh, yes. Welcome back, Heat Nation. Top of the morning to you, and good day. Today is a day where there are no obstacles, hence, they are plentiful, and yet, they are obsolete. As character, he isn't made of a bed of roses and sunshine, but like are horseshoes that go on a polo steeds. It is steel forged in the fire between the hammer and the anvil. Right now, we're between the hammer and the anvil. This is a closeout game. We go forth with a cleanly, sweep gentlemanly, with our brute force leader, Jimmy Buckets, our dragon who permeates magna from one's breath, Edris Otabayo, who brings forth double-doubles on the regs, that little rapscallion, Tyler Herro, with his beautiful clutch threes. We have the ponytail fellow, who can always erupt at any moment. Plenty forth. And of course, the classical Duncan Robinson, who comes from Williams College. Very classy. And can make swishes more beautiful than a symphony with his string music. That's forth tonight, Game 5, Heat and Stags. Tonight, here on 790 The Tickets.
Somebody said, in all Heat-related matters, today, Leroy should refer to Tobin as Sir Tobin of the House of Miami Heat.
Yes. Agreed. Yesterday was a great day as forth Eric Spoelstra was speaking of young Duncan Robinson's Heat breakout in Game 4, where he was hitting a bit of a brick house, you will, with the rim, which is not typical of young Dunks. But yesterday, Eric Spoelstra speaking of how the sharpshooter was able to find his mark like a great archer. Here is Coach Spo on the great performance of Duncan Robinson.
No, he's really worked at it, and Milwaukee's a really good defensive team. So he's had to go to, his third and fourth counters, and he has to be even more persistent and relentless, looking for opportunities for weaknesses in the defense. And, typically against most opponents, you run 10 routes, you might get open, 6 or 7 times. Against the Bucks, it might mean 2 or 3, but you have to run every single route with that level of energy and intensity and persistence. And he did that last night, and he finally broke free. And what remains to be seen, how the game shapes up tomorrow, whether those will be open.
Leroy, my good man, very fascinating point from Coach Spo there, as he has pointed out that Duncan Robinson needs to keep his aggressiveness up. Young Dunks has spoke of this, where he has said, not aggressive enough, had to find my ways. You have to bully your way forth against the Bucks, who are greatly a tough defensive team that have tried to take him out of the mix and have Jay Crowder take all of these shots. Thankfully, as they call him, Bay Crowder in Heat Nation, has also been able to nail the 3-ball.
Just being more and more aggressive, more persistent, and obviously they've made adjustments. Credit to them to take away certain things that I like to do, but then it's about the adjustment to the adjustment. So for me, it's about just continuing to work for open shots and just getting the ball in positions where I can be successful. So nothing in particular, very different, but just continuing to grow in that area.
I picture it a lot like a good match of croquet. You have to get those bullet hits, and if you don't get it through the gateway when you're trying to get a smashing blow, you have to still have persistence and aggression, which is what Duncan Robinson is dealing with going into this matchup tonight. So here was the news yesterday, Leroy. This comes from this. A lot of fans don't like this 2-minute report. It angers them because they're like, "What's the point? What's the point of knowing what could happen?" Point? I like it because I like to know whether or not a loss is true or not. Now, I did say yesterday, I don't want to hear anything about true loss or not a true loss. They didn't have Giannis, and ultimately, that should cost you in the rights to say whether a loss is true or not. However, when you really think about it, if Jimmy Buckets is going to the free throw line with an attempt to put you up 3 with 24 seconds left, it's kind of a big deal, Leroy.
Don't do it.
It's kind of a big deal.
You're falling for it.
Therefore, ergo, I negate my comments from yesterday and now declare this right now a 4-0 series in favor of the Miami Heat, but needing to clinch this series 5-0.
All right.
5-0 tonight.
Again.
What?
You can't start a conversation by saying we're not going to do 2 wins, 2 losses, but we're going to do it.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well,
it just annoys me.
Hey,
these
guess
officials,
what?
they've gotten things wrong left and right.
Here. It's either a win or a loss for whatever reason.
True.
But
more
if
wins
they
are
had
true
won,
than others.
If they had won, you wouldn't be dressed
Proper.
in your outfit today because it'd have been over, and you probably would have did it yesterday.
Feel quite classy, my man. Yes. Plus, it doesn't matter after the Heat. I'm going to wear this twice because the Heat will win the Eastern Conference Finals in 5 against 2 of those bums. Oh, yes.
I'm just looking across my Twitter line. Barry Jackson.
He's tweeting it this early in the morning?
Huh?
He's tweeting this early in the morning?
No, it's yesterday. NBC's Peter King picks Dolphins to win the AFC East.
No.
Boy. Oh, he is the kiss o' death.
Hey, so I just throw it out there real quick. We'll get to that later.
Yes.
Back to the Heat.
Well, do you want to speaking of Twitter? Do you want to hear a funny moment yesterday?
Sure, I'm all for the laughs.
Okay.
Besides looking at the clown.
Well, so TNT, you know how they do the thing where they'll put tweets up, funny tweets from listeners about the guys, making fun of Shaq, making fun of Chuck, fat jokes, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. I see it all the time.
Well, somebody put a tweet, and it says on the tweet, Chuck went from Wade to overweight at the TNT, and the person's name was Charles thought that this came from Heat big man Bam Adebayo,
right?
But in fact, it was from listener of the show who tweets us frequently. Really good Heat Twitter follow. Bam Adebayo, who actually has the at Manny Montana 305. So go give him a follow. Which I think I'll give him a follow just for fooling Chuck. I think that deserves that. But he has the name Bam Adebayo. So Chuck just looks up and he thinks that Bam Adebayo is making fun of his weight. And so here's the sound.
Is when it's 2-2. Bam! The winner of Game 5.
Get him, Bam. Come on, Bam. I've been bragging about Bam Adebayo. Oh, Bam.
That's not the real him. There was no check mark on that.
Come on, check on that, Bam. Actually, I met your mom at the All-Star game. She was saying
that wasn't
not the real thing.
That wasn't him.
He thought it was him. He thought that Bam was actually making fat jokes at his expense. Could you imagine?
Jeez.
I mean, that was funny.
Man just went an innocent bystander. He ain't doing nothing.
Just minding his own business, and everybody just like, Bam. Chuck actually thinks that you were. Like when I saw the headlines, I was like, wait, it was like, was they interviewing him? Did they interview Bam Adebayo? And he thought he made a sly comment that was about his weight. Nope, he just straight up thought the tweet came from him.
You got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
Because me and Robbie got caught by, what was it? Drip Skylark.
Drip Skylark. Drip Skylark could get you.
I just read, hey, don't lie. I just read the tweets. I'm like, funny.
It's too funny, man. Too funny. Do you want a cool Bam stat?
Sure.
All right, this comes from Cooper Moorhead. He is a Heat writer on Heat.com. Mm-hmm. Very big stat guy. Very. If you're into to smart basketball stuff, he writes some good stuff. Here is his statistic. Bam Adebayo in Game 4 became the 8th player in NBA playoff history to put up a 26, 12, and 8 before his 24th birthday. The list: Oscar Robertson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Charles Barkley twice, Shaquille O'Neal, Baron Davis, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and now Bam Adebayo.
All right.
That's a good list.
That's a good list.
That's a good list, love.
That's a good list. Only one other active guy.
Yep. Pretty good. I like
gotta
it.
tell you.
Yep.
A texter said it perfectly. We all think of the best athletes, right, as being basketball players.
Yes.
How the hell can Jokic do what he's doing?
Oh, I don't know. We
don't.
I think he looks like he put on some more fluff as the playoffs have gone on too. Because I thought skinny Jokic sucked.
Room service, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, when you sit around all day, let me ask you: when you sit around all day, and you sitting there and you thinking, "Let me get me some chips."
You think he's cracked into the mini fridge?
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but he's good. Oh my.
Oh
goodness.
my God, he's amazing.
It's unbelievable. His passing, his shooting. You know what? That's a European thing. Their bigs come the bigs here.
Yep.
And how they go through college and whatever. Now it's starting to change a little bit because there's a lot of big guys who can handle the ball.
Yep.
But over there,
they've been doing it for a while.
Right. All the bigs can shoot, handle the ball. You know, they never come to the NBA without basketball skills.
Yep.
And sometimes a big here, because you can make it all the way up to the NBA just being big. You don't have to actually have the skill of handling a basketball, of being a good passer, of anything like that. So, think about all the big 7-footers. Dirk, you got Jokic, you can think of you Luka, he's not 7 foot, but
still
all like crafty with the basketball and can shoot.
Even just the maturity that Luka has with his
because they have the clubs.
Everything.
They have the clubs, so they go to these clubs at 16, 17 years old.
Yep. No, he's completely impressive, man.
Which is the same reason why soccer is behind here.
I still can't get over that block by Kawhi.
I've seen it a bunch of times now.
How his finger not break, Leroy? How does it not break?
I don't know.
So people that go to the Kentucky Derby, really, a lot of them, the ones with the big money, big pockets, they're really not going for the races. They're going for the ladies with the big hats.
Yes, the big hats, the big stats. We go for all this, yes. Tyler Herro, who is just a twinkle in the eye of life. More clutch baskets. I read this from one Bartholomew Jackson yesterday. More clutch three-pointers than any rookie this century. How about that for a stat, my good man, Leroy? Yes.
Sees it, that stat.
Were you laughing at the stat or Bartholomew?
Oh, that's his name?
I have no idea. I just assume. What is Barry like?
Well, I mean, it could be like Spaceballs, Bartholomew.
Like what is Bart Simpson? This is Bartholomew. Was it Bartholomew his first name?
Or Barreled?
What was Barry White's? Barry White's first name. Was it just Barry? Was he like Jimmy? Was he like Jimmy Buckets?
Somebody said, "Are you the Penguin or the Planters Peanut guy?"
No, he's Barry Eugene Carter. That's Barry White.
Wow. Oh, really? Just straight up Barry.
Yep.
Eugene.
Wow.
I'll check Manilow.
That's a great that's a sexy voice coming from a Eugene.
Barry Manilow, just Barry Manilow. No,
I would say based on my nose, I'm more Penguin than I am Planters Peanut guy because the Planters Peanut guy does not have a nose.
Can I just tell you, the little monocle you're wearing?
Yes.
Makes your nose look like it's pointing at your left eye.
Yes. Of course.
Because it makes the right side of your face look bigger.
Only a little of my eyesight is a little off. That's why I don't know I'm becoming Irish all of a sudden. But it's quite fashionable just to have one of your eyesights fixed in these days, my good man. And the only thing I'm going to declare with this monocle is Jimmy Buckets getting all the buckets. Yes. Duncan Robinson yesterday telling you he's in the zone and he will come through with multiple threes. I kind
of like the way a lot of guys score. But in the end, I like that Jimmy understands when it's time to take over and when it's time to facilitate.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, when LeBron first got to Miami, they had a hard time sorting that out.
I agree. I actually think that, and I don't know what it was with the last game, but I felt like there was a little bit of indecision on who was there to take over, and I felt like if Jimmy was having trouble because Wes Matthews was doing a good job on him, I loved the matchup of what Bam had because I thought he was cooking everybody inside.
Yeah,
but to your point, he's just not in that mode yet where he's I think going to take over on the floor with Jimmy and Goran.
But I think it has to get to a point where they work the offense till they get to a situation that because guess what, when Jimmy has a small guard on him, they do it.
Yep.
Like they'll do it. They'll put Jimmy down low and let him work on that guy. Look, you got to do the same thing with Bam. Either clear the floor, give him the ball on top of the key, and say go to work.
You think Giannis is playing today, right? Because I totally think he's playing. Like they said he was in a boot.
I say no.
Boot. You say
I think he's been
really?
peer pressured into playing. Well, not peer pressured, but the comments that he's received and what people have been saying about him as far as the Jimmy Butler thing, which is totally unfair.
Just to go defend him?
Right. It's totally unfair, but, I think he feels that if he doesn't, he's going to hear the backlash. And look, before this series, Giannis could do no wrong in the eyes of anybody in basketball.
Nope. I think he was in the spot that Luka's in right now. Like Luka's right now the golden boy, and now we're all moving towards because everybody else we've kind of been there, done that. Like LeBron's always going to get it if he doesn't win. I'm not going to ignore that. But James Harden, once James Harden gets bounced, this team wasn't that good. Kawhi's already won,
but he's got no personality, so they just kind of. He's good.
You got to go after Jamal Murray. Like, come on, Jokic for being fat. Nobody on the.
I'll tell you what.
Toronto won the championship. Boston is full of young guys. And the Heat aren't supposed to be here. Like, he's really the only guy left in the postseason. Maybe Paul George, I guess. If Paul George blows it for the Clippers, he'll take.
Denver's going to be a good team.
Yeah, Denver's going to be a really good team. But Giannis is the guy, and unfortunately for Miami, I know this is going to drive them nuts. Like, the bigger story out of all this is going to be the Bucks losing than it is the Heat winning. Which, if you really look at Milwaukee, they are a flawed team, and the Miami Heat were just a nightmare matchup for them, and they are very talented. And everybody kind of looks at the Heat that, I saw, who was it who had the tweet the other day? I just saw Mickey Harrison retweet this. Somebody compared them to the 04, the 04 Pistons.
I said that, you idiot.
Did you say that?
Yeah,
yes!
but I think somebody else made that comparison.
Somebody famous made that comparison.
Thanks.
Somebody famous made that comparison. You're famous, but you're my guy. I don't consider you famous.
Oh, I think it was Jay Billis.
Jay Billis, yeah. And I gotta say, I don't see the equivalence.
Why?
Because they first of all, the 04 Pistons, it was like watching a 60-year-old man try and pee a drop.
No, not necessarily, because you had guys who could hit big shots, you had guys who could score, but they were mostly known for their defense.
Yeah, but that wasn't their identity. The Heat's offense is fun to watch.
Yeah, now I will say this. What the Heat have that they don't is three-point shooting. But that's just a sign of the times.
So are you saying Billups is Jimmy Billups in this situation?
What?
Who is comparable to everybody?
Bam Rashid.
Well, he did work out with Rashid in back home. Like, he's worked out with Rashid a lot.
I look at it more along the lines of not a superstar, but you have 5 to 7 guys who could start and be top 3 on any NBA team.
So just in the comparison that you think it's if they end up winning the title, it's going to be a team that just was never known as having a top 5 guy,
right?
Which is very rare. I got
right.
Tayshaun Prince could be Iguodala.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that's way better though. How much better is it having Tyler Herro than Darko?
Jeez, right,
man.
Or not having
crazy.
they don't have the Heat don't have a Ben Wallace on the team.
No, Jay Crowder, you don't put in that regard,
No.
Robbie? Well, I guess because
shooting no threes.
Well, no, Ben Wallace wasn't shooting.
If they had Whiteside, you could say he was more Ben Wallace. Guy who blocks shots and misses free throws. But
Tayshaun Prince.
Yeah, he's more like Iguodala. He's not anywhere near Duncan Robinson.
I guess technically, wouldn't Tayshaun Prince be? Would Tayshaun Prince be Jimmy, and then Goran would be Billups?
No.
Ooh, yeah.
I would. When I think of Jimmy, I would have to put him with Chauncey Billups.
I apologize for giving Jay Billups the credit for your take.
I would say, somebody said Derrick Jones is Tayshaun Prince.
Nah, he doesn't play enough.
I would say
I get the body comparison, but he's just not.
Tayshaun Prince is not a quarter of the athletic. Doesn't have a quarter of the athletic ability or jumping ability.
Dwayne Wade used to say.
Dwayne
Wade used to say Tayshaun Prince used to intentionally keep his nails really long, so like he would hate when he would touch his handle, like he's a scratcher. It's a savvy vet move, I gotta say.
Yeah, but I would say Jimmy Butler would be Chauncey Billups.
Or Duncan could be closer to Rip because they both run off the screens all the time.
Right.
Man,
constantly moving, running.
Yep. No, obviously not the defender Rip was.
It doesn't have a mask.
Doesn't wear a mask. Wasn't it the thing that like Rip Hamilton didn't need that mask? He just liked how
No, he just wore it because I did that with that thing I wore underneath my helmet.
With the COVID mask?
No, the thing that I wore when I messed up my jaw in college.
Isn't that the thing you showed us that looked just like the new the helmets though?
Yeah.
That's fun.
I didn't after probably the 6th game. I didn't need it, but I just never asked him to take it off. Just got used to it.
We'll take a quick break. Hour 2 coming up. The Dolphins, they have released their depth chart, Leroy. So we have some starters to react to. We'll get to that next.